Hello, and welcome to Ways to Change the Workplace with myself, Prina Shah. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Ravindra Kondekar. Is that how I pronounce your surname, Ravindra?
Yep. All right.
I'm right? Excellent. Ravindra, I have a little bit of a spiel about you. Are you okay if I take a couple of minutes to read about your wonderful accolades?
Yeah, please. And let me thank you first for inviting me on your show.
I'm the pleasure to talk with you. You are a man of many talents, Ravindra. For the people who are listening to us, I want to share a little bit about you. You have an MTech. You're an alumnus of IIT at Bombay. You're currently based in Mumbai as well, aren't you? Ravindra has spent more than 27 years working in upper echelons of the Indian tech industry. He has worked in software development for the Department of Space. Wow. In India, was that?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll be asking you more about that soon. And Ravindra has had the opportunity to work for many multinational corporations. Ravindra's other passion is software development that he specializes in and coaching executives and entrepreneurs on time management. What I really like is the sound of Ravindra's time management methodologies are tried and tested through his own career while he was handling challenging responsibilities as well as clients with various needs. So what Ravindra talks about is tried and tested by himself. And today, Ravindra, I want to talk to you just about that, time management. I want to pose the first question to you, and it's a little bit from my own personal experience as well. I have tried many time management tools. Some of them really don't work. So I want to pose the question to you, which I think a lot of our listeners will be feeling as well, Ravindra, is why don't time management tools work for me? Welcome, firstly.
Yeah, good question, Prina. And I'm sure all our audience today definitely have come up with this question in their mind, that why the tool that they are using doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
So let's think about it. What kind of tools our today's leaders use? I mean, they start right from something like Post-its to the other end where you have nice snazzy mobile apps. So it's a wide range of things people try.
Yeah.
But then the real question is always whenever you're talking of any tool, I mean, do you have some criteria? Have you applied some criteria by which you are going to validate the tool for what you are going to use it? So here is in this today's talk, I want to offer to you and your audience a 4-point criteria which you should apply before you choose your personal productivity tool.
Okay.
Let's start with basic thing. Now, the first question to be asked is the tool really meant for the purpose? Okay. Why I say this is typically most organizations use wonderful project management tools. They are great tools. And because of that, everyone has some app on their mobile which is connected to those big project management apps. Now, the problem here is that we are not talking about project management. When I'm talking about when I go to my desk and start working on it, it's a slightly different thing. Let me give you some analogy here.
Yeah.
It's like, would you go and would you like to do cooking in your shopping bag? Definitely not. So basically you get your shopping bag. Shopping bag is meant to get your stuff inside your kitchen. But once you get it, you have to get it out, organize it, and then you get into your mode of working on it, and that's how the whole thing starts. So there is a clear demarcation between where a role of project management tool ends and where a personal productivity tool starts. So I think what I see most people do is they are trying to cook in their shopping bag itself. So just stop it here. Stop that there. That's wonderful. Your shopping bag is a nice collection tool. It gives you work. Take it out, and now process it. So this is the first thing. But one I want to highlight here is that distinguish between project management tool and a personal productivity tool, or let me also call it as individuals work management.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to the second criteria. So now whenever we talk about tool, there is a danger that either it is under engineered or over engineered. Now
Yes.
example of under engineering is think of those small post-its or simple to-do lists. They are kind of under engineered. I mean, they
Yes.
can do your job, but they do not fit to the kind of work we have today. So our workload is increasing, is getting, it keeps changing all the time. So basically these smaller tools, they may help to some extent, but cannot be foolproof. So you keep missing few things, and then that ends up with you carrying some stress.
Yeah.
Uh, Now talking of over engineering, I think when we talk of over engineering, I always get this interesting example of that NASA scientists spend millions of dollars to make a pen which can write well in space in low gravity, while Russians just went ahead and used pencils. So, so, so this is although we don't know how much truth is there in this legend, but I mean it's interesting to point out how over engineering can become. I mean, what extreme over engineering can happen. So whenever a tool is designed, I think the best philosophy is something they call it as KISS principle, KISS.
Yep.
So it's basically keep it simple and stupid. So the question is, the tool that you are going to use, was KISS principle in their minds of the designers? Is the tool quite simple to use? I mean, this is very critical. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that if somebody has spent millions of dollars on the tool, it has to be great. It has to be easy to use, or it's going to work for you. So it has to be designed in that fashion. So the tool has to be simple to use, and of course, uh, simple to understand and easy to use, you may call it.
Absolutely.
So this is the second criterion one should apply. The third thing is about productivity is it comprehensive? I mean, it may just solve some problem. I'll tell you one example of calendar. Now, this is so universal.
Yeah.
Everybody uses now digital calendars. So, I mean, I was looking at statistics after you announced this interview. So, I saw that it is 70% people use digital calendars apparently. It's pretty huge mass. So, so now there is so uniformity, and I mean, there is a reason why it is so, because it really helps.
Yeah.
I mean, it satisfies that second criteria I'm talking about. It's simple and easy to use, simple to understand, easy to use.
Yes.
Okay, but then unfortunately, how much calendar can do for you? Very
Yeah.
limited. It's just for your appointments, the meetings. But what about the rest of the time that you spend on your work? So
Yeah.
calendar cannot do much about it. So this is what I'm talking about, comprehensiveness. So let me tell you then what precisely I'm trying to talk about here. So let's take some very old example. This is story of 2019 BC. I meant before Corona, not the before Christ.
Oh, it's a new BC now. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's a new,
2019 BC. Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a period. I mean, I mean, I used to have vacations all through till 2019. I mean, I didn't have any vacation after that. But yeah, the point is, me and my family spent at least one vacation every year, if not two, consistently. And my colleagues used to wonder, how is that you are able to manage? I mean, so the point is, although vacation is fun, but vacation planning is hard work.
Yes.
So are you ready for that? So vacation planning is work, and you have to really do it in proper fashion, and that's when then your vacations could materialize.
Yeah.
So So yeah, there are such many such examples. I mean, it not be just vacation, like hobbies of yours and your family members. So all of these things start taking backseat when you're already overwhelmed with the rest of the world. So,
Correct.
so, so my point is, does your tool allow the work from other life also, or is it just for the profession?
Oh,
So for your families, for your hobbies, so for your vocation, I mean, you get work from all sources. It's not just your day job. So does your tool support all of that? So that's what I'm talking about, being comprehensive.
yeah.
So so as I just gave the example, I mean, even if it is not profession, if it is a work, it needs that kind of treatment. Okay. So let me come to the last criteria then, and that's whether your tool is modern. So in the sense, as you know, technology is evolving,
Yeah.
uh, and you just can't keep your tools outdated. Then you're really not leveraging the technology. You should use technology to your advantage.
Yeah.
So I'm specifically worried about here about paper-based systems.
Yeah.
So, and they are actually totally outdated. You know that the power of digital, everybody knows that if your stuff is in digital mode, you always can search, you can cut and paste, you can edit. I mean, the whole working with it is so easy.
Yeah.
Uh, and specifically, I raise this as a criteria because most of our leaders today, they are all Gen X. And the Gen X, the problem with Gen X people are that they think that they can be effective or creative only if they have pen and paper. So, so, uh, so what I want to tell them is, okay, this is the question I ask to my clients: that how your work, in what form your work comes. Is it paper based or digital? Is it paper or digital?
Yeah.
And they think for a few moments, and all so far, whoever I have asked, they finally say hardly any paper. So my question is, if your input is digital, your output is digital, why are you using paper in between? Why do you need? I mean, it is quite inefficient to use paper in between.
Yeah.
So my only appeal to my all Gen Xers, my fellow Gen Xers is, please just take that out of your mind that, I mean, you have to use paper to get creative. It's really not necessary. One can be weaned away from paper. And if you're
Yes.
looking for example, just look at me. I mean, I was a big fan of paper. I used to love pen and paper. But then very soon I realized that, I mean, this becomes inefficient. I make a nice diagram on paper, or let's say I write some nice notes. The next thing I would need is someone says, "Can you send it to me?" And that's it. Now you need digital.
Yeah.
So whatever I started on paper, always it ended up me converting into digital.
Yeah.
Now, one could always say that, no, I will first make it on paper and then convert to digital. So that's what I was talking about, inefficiency. So why do you want to do that? So only thing is that I want to assure you that maybe some initial days, your weaning days, that you will find that it's not intuitive when I'm working directly on digital tools, but very soon you'll forget about it. I mean, you will get equal creativity when you are working with digital tools as well.
That's
So yeah,
a matter of it's
so
a
this is,
matter of change, isn't it? And embracing that new way of working, Ravindra. So you went from paper to digital. Over how long a period, and what kind of did you face challenges or any roadblocks as well yourself?
yeah, it was a big struggle. I mean, my colleagues during those days, they know that how it just really happened. So definitely it took some time. I mean, when I started my career, probably everything was paper. So in 1992,
Yeah.
but since then, slowly it started becoming digital. So maybe it's about 10 years that I hardly use paper. I'm not saying that paper is bad. I mean, sometimes, like let's say I'm in a meeting and I want to take some quick notes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to get into digital because it's easy that while I'm talking, I can just quickly take some notes on the paper. That's easier than pulling out a tool and putting my head into it. And then my other people in the room, they don't know what I'm doing actually. Am I entering something or just fiddling with my mobile? So,
Yeah.
so anyway, for all those reasons, it's good to use pen and paper for such things. But yeah, I mean, other than that, if you're writing a document or even creating nice pictures, flowcharts, mind maps, whatever you do, for everything you have amazing digital tools. So just take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And so many organizations have gone digital, or especially now this year, um,
Exactly.
thanks to
Exactly.
the big C, are going digital because of the way of the work has completely changed. So we may as well embrace it and see what really works for us. This year, I think, has been the best year to try out everything, Ravindra, hasn't it? I really like you have posed. I love your 4-step. Is it fit for purpose? I think one of the things where I used to get stuck was I used to use the corporate tools for life.
Correct.
Wrong.
Correct.
I
Exactly. Yeah.
didn't even think about it. So I didn't use the KISS principle with it. I used over-engineered tools. And
Okay.
then it was too comprehensive, which is, point number 3. Is it comprehensive enough for you? And is the tool modern? For me, the wrong tool I was using was too modern. So I need to actually look at it for my user needs and then use the right tool, which is fit for purpose.
Right.
Thank you. I love your analogies. I really like the way that you break it down into this 4-step principle to make it all understandable for us, Ravindra.
Thank you.
Fascinating. And I know, having read your profile and learned much more about you, that you have been, you practice all of this stuff yourself. One of the burning questions I want to ask you, and I'm sure other people will want to know as well. You worked at the Department of Space. Was that for Department of Space India, Department of Space another area? And are you able to share one experience that you had there that really stands out for you?
Okay. Sure. So first thing is I work for Government of India.
Yep.
So I was with Department of Space for 5 years, and it was definitely exciting and amazing. One thing probably pulled me out of there was my passion for software development. So when I was in Department of Space, my job was to do research in the space related technologies. But then because of my passion for programming, I used to do both. So, so most of the scientists used to write the algorithm and they used to give it to programmers who were there in our staff. But then I used to do both of them together. And that's where my superiors liked me a lot, because they just needed one person to give a research idea and get even everything done, coded and tested and with the results. So one interesting, yeah, I mean, to be just specific, I mean, I wasn't first thing a cosmonaut or something,
Yeah.
nor I made satellites. I mean, it's a pretty huge domain. So my area in space technology was basically remote sensing. So remote sensing is about the satellites which take pictures of Earth's surface. And they are so popular nowadays because whatever you get today in Google Maps, satellite pictures or maps, everything comes from nowadays the satellite pictures.
Yes.
So it's quite economical because once you launch it, it's just there. It just lives there for a few years and keeps sending you pictures. So it's that way it works out quite cheaper. So one of the satellites of India was getting launched during my career with Department of Space. And I was given a challenge of simulating how the data would look like. I mean, the satellite is not yet up, but they just wanted to see how it would look. So I had to simulate basically how the pictures will look if it comes from that.
Wow.
So that was a full end-to-end exercise, almost like coming up with an idea and then using the whole maths of it and then creating the whole image. So that was quite exciting project for me. That's what I remember a lot.
And I imagine in that project as well, you would have to be, across your time management and self-manage to your maximum capacity whilst you're juggling your passion as well as your add-on job that you've taken on as well then.
Yes, right, definitely. I used to be organized somehow by nature. But then some of the practices, of course, I learned later and kept refining them.
Yeah.
But my methodology, which normally I use in my coaching, that started about 5 years back. So last 5 years, I have kind of this procedure which has not changed so much, which kind of became stable just 5 years back. So since then, I've been using it a lot myself and coaching people with it.
Beautiful. And Ravindra, if people want to get in touch with you, I'm going to put all of your contact details in the show notes, so they will reach out to you. I have one final question to you, and you've had 27 years of experience within the workplace. This series is called Ways to Change the Workplace. Is there one way that you would change the workplace? What would you answer to that question?
Okay, quite an interesting question. So when I discuss this, what's going on currently with me, with my ex-colleagues or others. So when I tell them that it was enough of me with the corporate jobs, and and anyway, my financial goals were met, so I wanted to retire. So the first thing, or quite often, I have seen people saying that, oh yes, even I am tired of it. This whole corporate politics. So more often I hear about corporate politics, but unfortunately, I mean, rather, that was not something which bothered me a lot. I mean, I enjoyed politics. See, after all, politics will never go away if it is Homo sapiens. I mean,
human nature.
Yep. That's a human nature. So,
yep.
So I think corporate politics was not the big issue. The bigger issue was the time. The kind of time overheads go in a typically senior executive. I mean, I have played that role. You really waste tons of time. I mean, at the end of the day, when I used to look back, I used to just love those moments when I was close to my problems, really finding some solutions. And the rest of the thing, I just think of, I mean, I was just sitting in some meeting which wasn't even planned by me. It didn't look very relevant. I was just waiting for someone. Or some routine corporate exercises going on, which we do not know whether anything will happen. So there is a lot of corporate time wastage. I mean, this was something which I was worried about.
Yeah.
As you know, time is the most precious thing that all of us have. I mean, absolutely, there is a 24 hours a day. You don't get anything extra. And so I think that was something which I really didn't like. And I thought that is something which I'll gain when I come out of these jobs.
Yes, and I hope you have gained time to work on the stuff that you love working on and serving the people that you want to serve as well. Ravindra, you make a really good point, and I'm really seeing this year, 2020, you know, the year of internet and everything, how people are looking at time, especially from a workplace perspective. And I'm really fascinated by organizations which are refining the way they use meeting time, and if they're doing things in an alternative manner, such as, you know, quick huddles or an email over a meeting or a phone call over a meeting. There's so many other ways that you can use time now. And I hope, if anything 2020 has given us, it's a reflection on the way we use time, especially within the corporate context that you just talked about. I thank you so much for your time, Ravindra, today, talking about time. It has been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.